This
Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Aaron's Opinion, the podcast for blind people where we speak about critical issues in the blindness community and all other issues from across the universe and galaxy. My name is Aaron Richmond. Today, this morning, this afternoon, or this evening, we are joined by somebody who has made many appearances on the podcast. His certainly a repeat offender, someone who we haven't heard from in a while, but he kind of came up to me at some point and he said, and his name is Rob Castrogiovanni, as we know him, and he's been saying that there's been, a lot's been going on, and he kind of needs to get some stuff off his chest and talk about what's going on. And he has a petition on change.org, I believe, that needs some attention. So, Rob, why don't you kind of walk through what's been happening and, kind of some of the things that are happening to you right now and what's the life update, man? So I'll mute my microphone and you can kind of take it from here.
Awesome. Thank you again, Aaron, for agreeing to have me. I really appreciate that. I know it's been a long time, and it's been about 40 years to be exact. I was listening to previous podcasts of me. I was listening, and it's been 4 years, and to be exact, and I'm really happy to be back on the podcast explaining. Well, I just, to any of you, former listeners, or not former listeners, but listeners who have been, who are listening, you know about my story, but, and for anybody of you new, listeners, my name is Rob Castrogiovanni, as Aaron said. I've been having a lot of problems recently because lately, since COVID really, but before, where I speak my mind and I'm not very well liked by the music community in London. I'm a musician. I'm a guitar player. For those who are just tuning in, new friends of the podcast, I'm a guitar player and guitar with keyboards and piano and harmonica, and basically I'm a musician. But yeah, I want to just bring to your attention, yes, I do have a petition that's on change.org. It's called Stop the Harassment and Bullying of Me, Rob Castrogiovanni. I've also created a Facebook page. Unfortunately, I need to do some work on that. It's not really published yet, and well, it's up, but it's not. Now Facebook and everything's changing. I'm not gonna. I can discuss my feelings on that at another time. The technology and everything's changing, but you know what? I feel like for years I've been bullied in the London music community by bars, by popularity, by propaganda in the community, and I feel like I've talked about this before for those of you who have listened to me before and listened to my tirades, if you will, my rants. I'm a big ranter, as you can see, and I'm no stranger to this podcast. In fact, when I was asked to come on today, I jumped on board with it. I figured, hey, why not? I was free and I was willing to help a friend out who needed my help, and I was very happy to do that. So basically, this petition is to because this has been an issue for me for years in the blind. A lot of people, they don't see my problem. They just say, "Oh, your issue is not a blind issue. You're bullied because you speak your mind." Someone actually told me that, like, you know, basically that I deserved it. Basically, maybe she didn't mean it, but that's what I got from it, and that's what basically. It's not always, that's what basically, like, it's not about what people, it's how you feel at the time when you started. And now maybe it's not a blind issue, but I believe it is because I feel like I'm being discriminated against for speaking my mind about issues that I have in the in the music community. And, I hear a lot of people that, constantly belittle me for my opinions, and it's not just in London. I do know it's all over the world. Like I listen to a lot of YouTube videos where people are commenting and mean comments about I choose not to do that. I mean, I try to stay away from it. If I don't like a video on YouTube, I won't criticize anybody because I know what it's like to be criticized. I'll comment if I like a video, but if I don't like a video, I won't comment. Now, that's not to say, because there are videos I have liked that I never commented on. So, so it's not, so don't think if I don't comment on your video that I don't like it. I'm not going to criticize you if I don't like your video, if I feel like, if I could help in a matter of if I could say what need to, if I could like help you in any way, I will, but I'm not going to criticize you. Like I feel like a lot of people, are criticized for what they do, and I've seen this in myself too, and I'm trying to change that because I know what it's like to be ridiculed. I know what it's like to be belittled and bullied, and I just if I may, I recently said, somebody and listener, you could love that, you could be really mad at me, you could blame me for this. I really don't care. But I just want you to know that it was dumb, and I really am ashamed of it. Um, Basically, I found out that that a person that bullied me in the past has cancer. I found out by, as they say, listening through a keyhole, because I do have the habit of creeping people who have bullied me, and I have not made it a secret that I that it was karma, and I even said that I was happy about it. And that because, and people have told me I crossed the line. People have told me this. I want to make one thing clear. I don't wish cancer on anyone. Cancer is a bitch. I have cancer in my family. I do not, and I know I'm not helping my case, but I'm not saying what I did was right. And I'm not making excuses for what I did. I was mad, and I'm a guy who, listener, I'm a guy who shoots first and asks questions later. I, I'm reactive when I should be proactive, and I make no excuse for myself. I make no, I make no, oh, feel sorry for me because I'm disabled. I make none of that. I know a lot of people think I do. But before you judge, yes, I know it was wrong. Yes, I crossed the line. No one should. I was kicked out of a karaoke, and what did I do? I shot first and asked questions later. I should have said, I understand, but I didn't. I harassed him. I said how much of an asshole he was for doing this to me. And we went and there all this back and forth and all that stuff. He told, I made a couple, I couldn't appeal to him. So I tried to use, another account that I made. It wasn't meant to harass anyone, but I made this account so that I can, maybe have I could do something that I wanted to do for myself in secret, like, do not anything bad or anything, but just like be a blogger, go under an assumed name, as a blogger or somebody that I wanted to do. And I appealed to him. I said, I know Rob knows that he was wrong. And, oh, but this guy didn't budge. He was like, oh, just because you have problems in your life doesn't give you an excuse. And you know what? It doesn't give you an excuse. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is I get angry. I use my words as a weapon, and I'm sure a lot of you do. And, words are, and, it's like the old song, words are weapons. And I use my words as a weapon. This girl has bullied me. This musician has bullied me. And, but no, I am not saying that. But if this, person, I don't think, he's not on my list anymore, so he probably wouldn't get it when I share it, but I am, sorry of how it went. I could have handled myself better. When he kicked me out, it really hurt, and I lashed out like I always do, but I am not making this as an excuse. But basically, this petition is about all my years of bullying and the community that I felt, that bars and yeah, and I was grokking on X. Well, not grokking. I went to a grok. It's an AI action for those who don't know. AI has become really popular in this day and age. And there's a feature on X called grok. And I grokked what I posted in it. It's really amazing what you find when you press grok actions. And because I'm new to this X, and I'm finding a lot of brand new stuff that I am amazed by. And one of them is the grok actions. Now it took me to an AI article, and I didn't know, and I don't know how much of this is true, that there was a journal in the study of psychology, a journal of psychology in 2022 that suggests that people with disabilities are discriminated against. I'll share this in the show notes. I'll share it with Aaron, and I'll share the grok article. I'll share anything that I want to share. I'll share the petition. I'll share my stuff with you. I'll share, because I'm open. So if you want to discuss anything with me, if you want to ask, if you want to know about my petition, if you want to sign it, I already got 18 signatures, but that's not enough. 18 is great because it's more than I thought I would get. I mean, so hey, I'm always excited. I should mention that I'm kind of up in the air because I had 3 cups of coffee today. And yeah, I'm a little so I hope I don't come out seem like if I seem all hyped up. I was all, like I said, when Aaron asked me to do this, I was really excited. I mean, because to me, it's not only because I wanted to do this, but I truly believe one hand washes together. And when he needed my help, unfortunately, there was cancellations, and I firmly believe in helping a brother out, as the saying goes. One hand washes together, as the other saying goes, and you know what? That's what people do. And I was available. I was free. So I thought, what the hell? I'll do it. He's in a pinch. I'm able to, help. So why not? And I want to thank you. I want to thank him again, because this podcast, like, I don't listen as much as I should, but I do. It is, I did listen. I do listen. I started listening again, to the few guests that because it's very informative. Those who are just tuning in for the first time, if you are tuning in for the first time, you should, if you try this podcast, you should subscribe to wherever you get your podcasts and YouTube. Unfortunately, Apple is a little stringent now with explicit content. I have to create an Apple account if I want to listen to his podcast on Apple. I'm not available to listen to any explicit podcasts anymore. I signed up. I tried to do, because Apple, well, my go-to used to be Stitcher. Stitcher was my favorite podcast choice, and then they bombed, and then Apple started being my podcast choice. And I'm a guy who, if I find something that's easy for me, I will glom onto it. Look, that doesn't mean I don't. I do listen to Spotify. I'm on. I downloaded it. I can listen to the podcast on Spotify. I don't think anything is taboo on Spotify, and I love Spotify. And now there's share with friends. There's a lot. I connected my Spotify to Discord and Facebook, and I am on Discord. I will. I will. I do have a community on Discord, and I am out there. And basically, I need to. Yeah, I wanted to also. This is a way that I could say thank you, because this is like when he asked me to do this. I've had. It feels like, because this is my first podcast, so it feels like, um, coming back home, if you will, on a 4-year hiatus, if you want to call it that, because it's been a while since I've been, but I look back on my time at Aaron's Opinion and doing my podcast, I will crack a smile, because this is and he introduced me, his podcast introduced me to another podcast I did, called, unfortunately, it's not available anymore. It was called Life After the Mountain. I don't know if that's, if the obsolete podcasts are okay, because I can't find it anymore. I don't know what happened to the people, but they were nice enough to let me on their podcast, and it was due to Aaron. I owe Aaron that, because if it weren't for Aaron, I wouldn't have been on that podcast. I've been on a few podcasts, but this is the one that, I've been on the most, and I really appreciate Aaron for not only doing this podcast, but for giving people a voice, giving people an outlet. And I do believe, if you do want to, I encourage you to reach out if you feel like you want something to get off your chest, because this podcast for me has been a great outlet. I feel like I've been talking and talking and talking and talking, and I don't know if, Aaron, you want to have anything you'd like to add at this time, but this is your this is your show, and I feel like I'm hijacking it. So if any time you want to add something, just unmute yourself, or, well, you can anyway. It's your show, and
Well, sure. Rob, I got to tell you, man, I just want to say thank you for all of your kindness and all of your kind words. One thing that I would say to you is that with every episode we put together here at Aaron's Opinion, right? There's always things. Whoops, my mistake. See, that happens. I actually muted myself halfway through my sentence. There's always things we can learn, right? During a conversation and during a podcast episode, right? And
Exactly.
for you, I think what listeners will learn from you is that it's important to have self-control. And we've talked about it before, and you're someone that really does struggle with that, man. And I do too, and we all do. But the point is this, you really need to get some self-control, right? If you want me to sign if you want a signature, and if you want my audience to sign a petition, we're going to say, well, Rob, we'll give you a signature. We'll definitely share the petition. But on the other hand, or the caveat here is that you would have to then be willing to make some substantial improvements in, as we all do, right? Taking baby
Oh,
steps in the right direction, right? So you're going to
definitely.
work on not losing your temper with people. And I've had to do it too. I'm not exaggerating. It's very hard not to lose your temper. It's incredibly hard not to, which is why it's an incredibly big problem for so many people. It's easier to lose your temper than not lose your temper. So that's why you lose your
It
temper,
is.
because it's easier to lose your temper. But you have to think, in my case, I have other things to think about. The other thing you have to think about intellectually is, how do you want to represent yourself in public? You can go home, and we do it. I do it. All of our listeners do it. Everybody does it. You can go home and cry and throw your shoe across the room and scream obscenities, oh, fuck my life, fuck the world. You can do that as much as you want, but not when you're in public. When you're in public, the public doesn't deserve to see that. So
No.
my point to you, man, is yeah, I'll help you a little bit, but you need to help yourself a lot more. That's
Oh,
that's my
definitely.
my, my pretty direct point, man. Like, yeah, we're gonna help you. We're gonna sign the petition, but then you need to promise me that you're gonna start making some serious attempts to kind of get a grip of some of these things that are going on. And I believe you, by the way. I've never doubted you. I've always noticed that you've been treated poorly and by the Canadian community there. And I've never fully understood why, apart from the fact that some people are just nasty. It seems
Yeah.
like that's London place where you live is just really not up for disability, is what it seems, and that they're just not up for
No.
dealing with people with disability. And that's on them. That's another subtle thing to remember. If somebody doesn't want your business, that's not your business. That's their problem. You know,
Exactly.
that's, but these are all very subtle things. And yeah, I do respectfully agree with you. Yeah, you can't be teasing someone when they get cancer. You just
No.
can't, you just can't, you know.
Especially when you know about, like, and besides, like, God forbid it happens,
Right.
but I could get it myself.
We could all be that way, right? We're just any person who's sighted is one accident away from being blind, right?
Yeah,
So that's kind
exactly.
of the important thing to know is that you always have to strive for further and further improvement. That's always a very, very subtle thing. And
And
I
I'm
do
not, oh,
recall,
sorry,
yes.
no, go ahead.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I do recall that you were on some podcast. Yeah, where you talked to those two. They were very kind to you, and I forget who they are. They spoke to you about your issues and your losses in your life, and they help people. Oh, damn it. What's that called?
What?
Something about grief.
Yes, you have those people on your podcast. I don't
Something
even know
about
if they're
grief.
still.
Yeah. Guys, if you're out there and anyone at home remembers what it was called,
I know what it's called now.
oh, what's it called?
Well, it was called Life After the Mountain, and the host, I don't know if I should mention who the host is, because I don't know what he's doing now.
Yeah, I have to confess, I honestly forget the host, but they were very kind to me, and they were
Oh,
very, very
they're both
nice.
two of the most kindest people,
Yeah, yeah, they
and
were
they
on the
were.
show a long time ago. I don't know if they would even remember Aaron's opinion. Maybe,
I
maybe
still know
not.
their names.
Whatever happened to the podcast, though? It was something about loss and grief and how to
It was
grieve or
called
something like.
Life After the Mountain, but it was called something about grief too. But then they changed the name. It
Yeah,
was two people who had met on TikTok.
right.
It um I don't know. Do you need me to mention the names?
No,
I know
no.
their names.
No, no, I forget, but that's okay. Look, the point is they were nice to us and that they helped you, and that was around 4 years ago. That was a good while back. I do recall it, man. So, the point behind it all is look, there's some areas for improvement and there's some areas for advocacy, right? You
Yes.
need to improve you, and yes, you're right. You need to get this petition, off the ground. So let's talk about that, right? With a petition with change.org, I've never actually put one together. And this is just to lighten the mood. My brother always likes to tease me just to get me spun up, and I don't know if it's true, but he claims it probably isn't because he's my brother. He claims that he put together a petition on there about changing the plural of squid from squid to squad. In other words, he thinks that we shouldn't say two squid. He thinks we should say one squid and two squad. So he
You know
wants
what?
to,
I like that. Squid Squad.
yeah,
Oh man, I mean, if it were true,
yeah.
that would be hilarious. Uh,
That's the silly part. I don't think it's actually true. But
well, I
anyway.
have two petitions actually.
Oh, you do? Well, what are they?
One is I created with AI generated called I forget because I've been so wrapped up in my bullying petition. It's something about make London accessible.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have
Hmm.
friends in wheelchairs, and I think that they're some of them because of the way that some things are mapped out. If it's an old building, like I do have, and I know like I'm not saying this to you know I'm not saying this so like it's other knows I do even though I know I get upset and I wound up tight, I do have the capacity to care about others.
Hmm. Absolutely,
And
you
I
do.
And I do care about others, and I do care about accessibility issues.
Hmm.
And I've been hearing
Absolutely.
about, and there are people like in bar that want to go to out and they want to, but they're not always wheelchair accessible. And sidewalks are the pits at times
Right.
because they have those rough, like step ups. Like even one step would be, sometimes I don't know if you can go on curbs with your wheelchair. I'm not a wheelchair user, but I had a girlfriend. Well, short term, we're still friends. Well, we don't talk, but that's a different story. I'm not gonna, because
That's all
they're
right.
her struggles and her, and
Hmm.
I don't want to, because I still care about her a lot,
Hmm.
and but she's in a wheelchair,
Yes.
and there are things that she probably wants to do that she needs.
That are not always doable and not always accessible
Uh,
when they need to be. Yeah.
I'll share that position too. That bullying one's got more, and I apologize for that because
Right.
I meant to have both kids to take care of both of those petitions.
Hmm.
But when you get caught up in something,
Right.
and I'm not using this as an excuse, and because you know me, I will talk about things, but I'll take full responsibility. I won't own what I've done, even though
Hmm.
it might get me in trouble. It might get me some hate or disapproval. I'll own what I've done. And I'm not saying this as an excuse, but I'm the type of person that I guess, and there's a lot of people like that who'll get them before they get you.
Right. Sure. No, I definitely see. Well, so for your current petition, the one that you're all wrapped up in, the one where you're mostly the one about stop bullying Bob Castrogiovanni one, right? So with
Yes.
that petition, okay, who are you petitioning? Because when technically the way it works is you're supposed to be petitioning a something to have a result that you want. Like you can't just petition the general public. It's generally to an organization or a person or who are you
Oh, well,
petitioning?
yes. And I guess, is that what you mean about influencers?
No, no. No, no. What I
Because,
mean is when you create a change.org, right?
yeah.
You need to create it so that you're petitioning somebody, like a person, right? Let's say that you want to, let me just come up with a hypothetical. Let's say that there are, of course, the problem with me coming up with a hypothetical is there probably have been petitions about it. Um, let's imagine a future world where humans are living on Mars, right? Let me go really out of the box with you to make
Okay.
this illustration. Let's say we live on Mars and our governments have, our countries are one country or something like that. And all the countries have collapsed. They're all like regions. And our
Oh,
region
yeah.
of the world, Rob, has sent astronauts to go live on Mars and be mining on Mars. Well, we don't like that or something like that. Or one of your friends is an astronaut, but he can't spend time with his family, and you don't really agree with the mining of Mars anyway, right? So let's say, for
Exactly.
instance, that you would create a petition, and the petition would say, petitioning, I don't know, the World Space Association of 2050, stop sending astronauts to Mars, right? And then you would be
Yeah.
petitioning that organization, that NGO, that hypothetical NGO, by the way, to to stop sending these hypothetical astronauts to Mars for this hypothetical imaginary scenario that I'm drawing, right? So
Okay. Right.
so that's what I'm kind of drawing at
Oh
here.
no, I get it. I have
Who are you petitioning there?
the London music community.
Okay. Is there a specific person that runs that thing? Like you keep on saying London Music Community. Like
No, I
is it an
didn't petition.
organization?
I did not petition a certain person.
Okay. All right. Well,
Um,
I mean, generally musician unions and these types of music groups have some leadership structure. There's obviously somebody, because it's not quite going to work, you see. You can't just necessarily spread it out. I mean, it's a great way to spread awareness for the issue. I totally get it. And no harm there. But what I am saying between us, man, between us, mate, is look, if you're not going to petition a person or a specific individual, right? I'm not suggesting, by the way, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not suggesting that you do this. In fact, this would be a terrible idea. But let's say that you were really angry at the owner of that bar who wanted you to leave or something like that. You would say petitioning, I don't know, John Smith for kicking me out of the bar or something like that. So that's one piece of advice I would give is try to find a specific person to whom you want to petition, right?
okay.
That would be a huge reason for other people to sign because if they see that there's traction with a person or an NGO or a company or an agency, then there's a lot more of a reason for somebody to read the petition and say, wait a minute, this is actually a serious thing. You know, that's kind of where I would, what
Oh
I
no,
would
I
say.
hear that.
So
I
no, I'm just wondering how would it work though if you're just going to petition the community of musicians, like who
I
would
don't know
answer the
because I don't
call?
have any people like I have people I don't like, but I um I don't know if it's just one person because there are a lot of people
Hmm.
that have wronged me
Yeah, I
and
understand.
between it's not just the music community. I feel like I've been bullied up, but the community is a major like factor. But
Right. Hmm.
we're getting yeah, honest.
Right.
I've looked at like said, you can do like it told me what I can do. Like I could put influencers, like it gave me a suggestion, like you could influence the London Police Department or the London music community as an influencer, but because I read what stuff I could do.
Hmm.
But I don't know if you sign it, but you have to pay to sign a petition. I know I didn't have to pay to start it, but some people told me that they have to pay to sign it, so I don't know if it costs anything if you have to
I
register.
so now you know that I'm on stateside. I'm an American guy. I'm not Canadian. I don't live in Canada.
No, I know that.
So I actually did, by the way, a couple months back. I went to Montreal with my family actually. So I have been one time to Canada. I had a lovely time,
I'd
but
love to go there.
Montreal, yeah,
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 I
it's
hope.
lovely. It's a lovely place. There were a lot of bars and people doing music and things like that. But at any rate, though, what was I going to say? Um, yeah, I lost my train of thought.
It's,
Something about the petition. Um,
you have to have a certain person.
oh, no. Okay. So as an American, I've never had to pay money to sign a change.org. I've been asked if I want to make a financial contribution after signing to push it through.
Oh, maybe
But
that's what they meant.
I think perhaps because I don't think change.org would be able to, nobody would sign if they had to pay money before signing.
Exactly.
So,
No, that would be.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think you have to pay money to sign it. I do recall that it prompts you to give money after signing. Um,
Maybe that's what he got confused about. He registered and then he can't, I'm not gonna, but there was someone who told me they registered and then after they signed my petition, they canceled their registration.
Interesting. Very, very
So I don't
interesting.
understand that.
Right. Right. Yeah, I don't know. But no, it sounds like a good idea. And and then what's your goal? Like, how many signatures do you need to make the problem stop, you know?
Well, really, my goal is to just spread awareness
Mm-hmm.
about how I feel about I know I need things. You always need things to back your thing up, and I should have done more research. I was just gung ho, I get really gung ho, and I want to get things off the ground right away, and I can't wait. I'm very I want this started now. I've sent it to a couple people. I want to get on my point. I want to ever since 2016 when I got kicked out of the Covent Garden Market for bus, for that comment, I've been wanting to get on the news about my unfair treatment, and I'm trying to. It even says, put your number on this so when you get amount of signatures, news people can contact you. But you know me, I decided I'd go on X and I'd send it to my people I follow on you, like London, just people in the London news. Because I'm gonna say something that really, really pissed me off a few years ago. Now this might be on point, this might not be, but a few years ago, there was an article on CBC in London, disabled men looking for love. And I should not have judged me. I do know this guy, and I was angry because how could he get an article in CBC, but me, who is fighting to be taken seriously and fighting for more serious, like, and this is just my opinion. This is what the show is called. I've said that to myself a couple times when you've always said, this is my opinion. I'm like, yep, that's why they call it Aaron's opinion. Because it's your opinion, and it's not called Aaron's fact. you know, it's not. It's called Aaron's opinion because you're expressing your opinion, just like I'm expressing. I believe that there are more pressing issues in the disabled community than disabled people looking for love, and this guy, I feel, is in love with himself anyway. So I was mad because and I was like, I'm fighting to be taken seriously. And this guy who I know to be, and this is my opinion, I know him to be kind of a womanizer. And I was mad because he got an article before I did. And I feel that there are people with disabilities fighting to be taken more seriously than some guy looking for a girlfriend. Although we're all looking. I mean, well, I was talking about this with my uncle this morning, my uncle and my father in the car on our way from breakfast when we were cruising a little bit. I was talking about how I'd love to be, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to go off topic to go off topic,
No, no, no worries. Talk about what you want. Yeah.
but Aaron's right. I do need I'm not the only, if I want to see improvement, I got things to improve myself. And yes, I guess I'm asking you, listener, if this has, you don't have to, but I'm asking you if this kind of turned your stomach for forgiveness, I guess.
Right. Well, you see, the thing about that is those are two different things. You can't, it's, you're wanting two totally different things. Forgiveness, right? And getting people to agree with you about change.org or signing your petition. Well, those are two totally different
Oh,
things.
no, you're right. Yeah. I want forgiveness in the fact that, I said horrible things.
Well, the only thing you can do is learn from that and tell yourself, well, I'm just not going to say that again. Or the other
I
thing you can do is try to improve in a variety of things in your life so that when when you're faced with these issues again, you'll remember the past and remember that you didn't like the version of you that you showed then and try and just try to do a little bit better, because you're not going to be 100% better overnight. Nothing works like
No,
that.
hell no.
But
I mean,
you can,
that's why 6 years of therapy too.
and I understand it. Trust me, I do. And what you can do is you can take baby steps. I would only ask you to take baby steps,
All I do,
right?
like, I'll type a status and
Yeah.
I won't send it because I feel like it was too, I'm working on that because I put a status yesterday. It wasn't bad, but I'll give you, it was like, do I want the public to know this right away? Do I want my friends to know? And I was like, this is private stuff that I should be keeping to myself and talking
Yeah.
to only a handful of people about. Facebook doesn't need to know it. You
Right.
guys don't need to
Exactly.
know it. And I'm taking baby steps. I'm writing bad statuses and leaving the page and not sending it.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. And we all catch ourselves doing stuff like that. Everybody does it. There's no harm in that. But what you have to do is learn from it and say to yourself, I'm just gonna try to do a little bit better, baby step, baby step. Oh, and now look at how much I've improved in 1 year, If you
Exactly.
take baby steps in the right direction, if you work on your health, if you work on your physical health, if you work on, it's what it always is for me in my life and my success that I've seen. It's always the little things and it's never the big picture. It's always the
Exactly.
little things. And that's the life lesson. It's about taking the smallest of steps to go as far as we possibly can. I would never ask a guest to do things that are impossible because
No,
that would
no,
defeat
I
the
know
purpose
you.
of impossibility. I would only ask you to do things that are hard and difficult but possible, right? Oftentimes, to go through the hardest things in life, we perceive them as impossible when in fact they're possible but just very difficult, yet never impossible. So these are subtle things, right? Subtle things that you can put into your mental bank of things that you can be doing to really, really start moving slowly in a stronger direction, And I agree with you. There's certain things that have happened to me that we're not going to go back to, but in this moment on this recording, but there's certain things that have happened to me that have permanently traumatized me. And there's certain places I can't go because I have PTSD about certain places. So it just goes to show that this is all a work in progress, and ultimately in the end, apart from getting recognition and awareness. I mean, generally change.org's from the ones that I have signed, which are very few because I'm a healthy skeptic of everything really. But
Oh, definitely. And that's
with the things
okay.
that I've signed, there was a specific matter of fact goal that it was going to do. So if so what would happen if 1,000 people signed this petition? Like what would happen?
All I could say is just read over my petition
Mm-hmm.
take and judge for yourself. And if you think that there's more, I will be glad to hear your opinion on that because
Right.
maybe there's stuff that I missed or that I didn't say that um and maybe because I believe that there is more to the petition than
Mm-hmm.
because but I am going to send you not only the petition but the AI generated article
Sure.
that I copied from the petition and um, because I don't know. I've tried to look at research on the journal of psychology. I don't know if I did it right. But I'm just gonna say, no, I mean, because I'm grateful to, this knowledge, but I'm just gonna say, um, you can go over my petition and if you feel like, you know, that I need to, Yeah, there's
Yeah.
more steps
Well, no,
because
I
I
mean,
know there's steps.
I'm sure that the petition's fine, man. But my point is that the petitions that gain the traction are the petitions that are petitioning a specific person to take a specific action. That's
Oh,
what I'm saying.
definitely.
Yeah. So maybe if you can over time figure out, what's going on there in the London music scene, maybe there's some secret president that you don't know that's hiding from you, you know. Uh,
Maybe.
maybe, right? So what I would do in your position is I would research that extensively and figure out exactly who's in charge of the ship there and who's really controlling the London music scene, right?
Exactly.
And then I would research that and I would say, okay, this is the person that's in charge of it and things like that. And yeah. And because of all these things, these are the actions that would need to be taken and things like that. But yeah, no, I think it's ridiculous that it has come down to you needing to sign a petition just to get people to behave. That's a bit of an illustration on the quality of people that you're dealing with. To some extent, yeah, I think I'm glad you're doing this petition, but in a lot of other ways, they realistically will probably never change their ways,
No,
because
no, realistically, they want, I guess, I just want a voice
right,
to
sure.
be a voice for the community. And even
Mm-hmm.
though this is for myself, someone commented on the article I strocked. I don't know how to pronounce it. The computer pronounces it grok. It's an AI action. You can grok on X. It's grok actions. Someone said,
Right.
well, it should not be just in London, all over the world, and I agree. But also, they said local. When I was doing the petition, it said you could do it locally or globally, but they say locally gets the more actions.
Sure. Well, I mean, it depends on what you're doing and it depends on who you're petitioning. And sometimes it would have to be a global issue, you know? Yeah. Hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll definitely do more research into definitely do more research.
Hmm.
If I could name a certain person, like just one person, I would, but I think there's more than one person.
Right.
And
Right.
I've name dropped on this podcast. Because I've been here to tell my story. I am not. I think that I'm just gonna that when I named if I ever name drop, I think I'll just make up names, but so that to protect
Hmm.
obviously not them but me and protect protect because you protect um because even though I don't like a lot what Meta's doing. Meta's probably doing this for some kind of protection again for you, like because if they didn't remove some of the posts I made, I'd probably be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Probably.
so I'm not saying, that I agree with Meta, but I would like to acknowledge that I think I know what Meta is trying to do, and that's they're just protecting us because it's not just me, it's my sister and I, and we go over the top because we
Yeah.
both have our issues and with the community at large. And
Sure.
I really, I, what, maybe, I don't know if she would, would, come on your show,
She's
the,
welcome. Well, she's welcome here.
welcome, of course. In fact, it's funny. I mean, I was going to suggest that, because there was a podcast I was on, and it was Siblings, International Siblings Week. It was another blind podcast with, another podcast. I have to choose my wording.
Oh, okay. Well,
Another podcast hosted by two blind siblings that
oh, okay. Wow, man.
that I respect. It's called Outlook. I will
Oh,
send. I'll send you the link offline.
Never would have known about that. Let's get them on the show. Go. That sounds cool.
Um, I will message them. You know how I used to do to you? I used to send you mass messages with the people,
Yeah,
and I
and
used to introduce.
you know how because I know you're gonna laugh about this. You know how you went through a thing where you got me mixed up with the other Aaron Richmond, and then you had to
Yes,
figure
because
out
I
who the
went to
right Aaron
school with an Aaron
Richmond.
Richmond,
Yeah, that
and
went on
you
for a
do kind
while.
of sound like him.
Yeah, but Rob, I promise I still didn't go to school in Canada. Okay, I promise you. I pr-
You promised me.
yeah.
Because I don't know, I still think there's like you have a little. I still think there's a. I still think that you I don't know, good because I know that I would love to get in touch with the other Aaron Richmond.
Well, so would I, and I would tell him, "Hey, Aaron, get in touch with Rob. You went to school with him."
I just thought it was you because, of course, the voice was a little high, but you saw obviously because a 6 year old, you're not going to sound like a 6 year old now.
Right. That's true.
And this guy's younger than me, and you're 11 years younger, and he was kind of like that. So,
Yeah, but
and
I'm just
you know,
sure I'm positive because the last time I looked at my passport, it said United States of America.
I mean, passports could be fudged, and
Yeah,
yeah.
Rob, come on, man. Mine is not.
we're
That's
just we're
that's
no, I
just
know
silly
we're.
stuff, Rob. That's just silly. That's just silly stuff. Mine could be
Maybe I could say
fudged.
I'm from the United Arab Emirates. If
Yeah, I don't
uh,
recommend you saying that though. I would just stick with the Canada story. Let's just.
oh, Canada,
I would just play music in the London Music Society and
my
be
home and native land.
yeah. I would just go
Although I
with
would like to get a passport to maybe play some music in America. Um, I
I don't.
don't want to live there. I mean, no offense. I would like to visit though. I do have relatives
That's
in the
fine.
U.S.
That's good. That's good. No,
and I
no, I
have
have.
been to Florida,
Oh, that's good, man.
Orlando exact, Disney World.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see. I see.
So
That's
now that you're in Florida, do you ever get to hang out with Mickey and Minnie and all them guys? And
no, no, actually, since we moved down here, um, I don't think I've been to Disney since we moved here.
well,
Well, one of the issues when you live in Florida is it's ridiculously expensive. You know,
London is ridiculously expensive now. I'm lucky to live where I live. You for a one bedroom, you're looking at 1,600. I pay about 500 and something, and but in London alone, you're looking at 1,600 Canadian
right, right.
for
Well,
rent. I mean, prices has gone up drastically, and
right.
I'll let you continue, and then I'll.
Yeah, yeah. So no, the other thing in addition to the price thing is that with the parks, it's very hot for most of the year. So I would only want to go to the parks like in the winter,
Oh yeah.
which to you it would feel hot, but to American people it feels pleasant. So you know, it just goes to show how different the climates are from country to
Oh,
country. But
definitely. And I've been to Disney World. I've been to Michigan because I have relatives there in
oh,
Michigan. I
that's
haven't
right. I
been to
do vaguely
California.
remember that. Yeah, you do have relatives in Michigan. Yeah, which isn't too far from Canada at
No,
all.
actually, I
Yeah.
found out because I don't understand this. Why do we get your networks on TV, but you don't get ours?
Well, I don't want to watch Canadian TV.
Oh, well, Canadian TV is actually pretty good. Actually,
Oh,
and you know what? If you think about it, networks do air Canadian programming.
well, that's
Like
good.
they do, and we were talking about it because I have another Discord server that's a YouTube channel that I've joined, and it's hopping.
That's good, man. That's good.
And
Anyway,
I found out from my Google in New York
hmm
and Michigan. Well, Michigan you can get in New York though. I found out that people can get TV Ontario in New York, and I didn't know that.
yeah, because there's a lot of Canadians that live in New York and New York State. That's why.
Yeah, well, New York and Michigan they're close to the border, but
hmm
wherever you are, I don't know if you get like Global or CTV or if you've even heard of these networks.
I haven't heard of it. I've heard of CBC. We can get CBC. We know about CBC.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Uh-huh.
but CBC's like, CBC's like, it's funny because there was a guy who lives in, I won't, that, was talking about, because joking, because we have two different variations of Sesame Street, or we did.
Hmm.
There's your Sesame Street and there's Sesame Street Canada.
That's true. Each
And
country, I actually listened to a podcast about the history of that show. Yeah, each country developed their own version of the show to their own culture. Yeah, that is
oh,
an
definitely,
interesting thing.
like,
Yeah, it's
and
true.
they actually interchanged, because there was an episode of Sesame Street called Abelardo's Visit. And Abelardo is the Spanish for Big Bird. And
Okay,
Abelardo
interesting.
turned out to be Big Bird's cousin. So,
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
and Oscar, I think there's a Grouch in the Spanish named Poncho. And Poncho is the one drove, that drove, that Oscar's the one that drove Abelardo to the airport, that drove Abelardo from the airport to Sesame Street. And
Okay.
you know what? I know he's called the Grouch, but I really don't think he's a Grouch. I think underneath he has a very, 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 soft, exterior. Underneath that rough exterior, I believe he's very soft.
Well, that very well could be true. I'm certainly not an expert on the show, but it
Me
very well
neither,
could
but
be true
I
that a
like to
lot of
analyze. But
these,
anyway,
yet anyway, yes, the networks are interesting from country to country and
they're
things like that.
definitely. I mean, I
Yeah.
would love to find out. I am interested. How many of you Americans have listened to Canadian programming? And I tell you, I listen to a lot of American programming,
I mean,
and
it's
sometimes,
possible that people have listened to, American Canadian stuff in America, but we might not necessarily know that it is Canadian. That's one of the things. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
exact. That's
Yeah.
I was talking to someone about that because I have like I said, I go on this YouTube channel, which I'm on the Discord server, and it's all about
Mm-hmm.
80s and Gen X culture. And
Oh
I'm a
yeah.
millennial, but the end of Gen X and the beginning of the millennials are interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what you classify as Gen Z. I'm not good on that. Maybe Gen Alpha. I don't know. I'm a millennial. I was born in 81 and I am not shy about that. In fact, I'm an open book. Um, People want to ask me questions. If any sighted person I'm happy to answer questions. But no, I'm very, very open, and and I think that's one of the reasons I've gotten into so much trouble.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a troublemaker. Do you know I
Well,
should do a podcast called The Angry Blind Guy.
that would actually be a really good title. The Angry Blind Guy with with Rob Castrogiovanni. That would
Exactly. What
be,
someone actually suggested, because I was
yeah.
that of pissing in the dark.
No, because then, Rob, because like I was saying earlier today, right? We want to try to change your outlook and change some of the things that you're doing, right?
Yeah, it would
So,
change it for the better.
yeah, so piss in the dark wouldn't be changing it for the better. You want to try to make you're trying, like I said before, right? If you think about losing your temper, you want to think about how you will be marketing yourself to other people. This is something
Exactly.
that is very misunderstood in the blindness community that needs to be understood in the blindness community. The way we market ourselves to other people makes all the difference in the world. The way we market ourselves makes all the difference. So if there's anything you can do to market yourself better, you need to be doing it. In other words, there's no greater time than the present for you to start making some of these key changes. But
Well, I want to
yeah,
apologize
that's all right.
for any of the listeners who have had or still have cancer.
Okay.
I I want you to know that I do not that I wish you well, and I'm not and that if you like And I want to, because I've offended people that I didn't mean to offend, and I just want to apologize for those of you who do have cancer, that knowing that I don't wish any ill will on you, and I want you to beat it. And any of my friends who I offended that has cancer, I just want to apologize.
Okay, well, that's a very good, see, that's taking one step in the right direction. So that's excellent, man. That's really good. Yeah. All right. All right. And seriously, you should help me get in touch with that podcast, that with those two blind people that you mentioned, because I'd
I will
never,
definitely do it.
and you
I've
know,
gotten
and
you in touch with I noticed you liked when I that page I invited you to, the New Vision Advocates in London, Ontario. That's that.
yeah, yeah, I think I've interviewed them. I don't know if I've interviewed them or not.
I know
I
you
don't know,
interviewed advocates, but not from Canada. Um
but I've interviewed a couple
I
other
think I
people.
want to do a Canadian, like
Yeah.
one of the podcasts, because I have I think one of the like, you know how we were talking about
Hmm.
different Sesame Street has different culture. Well, I want to, you have your show in the United States,
Right.
and I want, obviously, my show will not be called Aaron's Opinion. That would be weird.
Right, because your
Aaron's
name's not Aaron.
Opinion, hosted by Rob Castrogiovanni, but I want to do something that, like you're doing, and
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
want to, and even some guy in my, one of my music stores said he'd sponsor me if I want to do a music podcast. So,
Okay, well, there you go.
and I wanted to, you know, and speaking of which, I thanked them, because they cleaned up I had, my guitar strings were old, and they obviously hurt me when I played them. So they cleaned them up nice for me. They restrung it. Now it sounds like, it just is a dream to play, and
Sure. Well, that's
I
really
can't put
good.
it down, where before I couldn't wait to put it down.
Jeez, it was that bad. Well, okay, maybe you need to take better care of your instruments from the start, Rob. I think that's one of the things. You need to take better care of your equipment and care for the things that you have. See, there's a lot to be learned there. Yeah,
Well, with the
definitely.
guitar, it's the strings. If you're a guitar player, a lot of guitar players change their strings
Hmm.
probably weekly because they play their guitar so much. It matters on the wear and tear.
Right. Sure. Sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
I have six guitars.
Hmm.
Some are at my parents' house because I don't have room for all of them, plus my 15 keyboards.
Right.
Yes, I'm obsessed.
Well, that's good. That's good, man. That's really
I'm a keyboard hoarder.
well. Well. There's worse things to hoard. So that's good.
Exactly.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing to have. Yeah. Hmm. Definitely. Definitely. So what are some other stuff that you've been working on, man? What else is going on, outside of all these topics, man?
Oh, I've been, ever since COVID's been over, I've been going out a little more,
Yeah.
going to
That's good.
movies and whatnot. And, I even started, I'll go to the movies with friends, but sometimes if they're not available, I've been in a few movies by myself too.
Okay. Well, that's good,
I like
man.
movies by myself. I wanted to learn because I like movies, and there's not a lot of availability. So, if I'm in the mood to go to a movie, and,
Hmm.
I go to myself, I just time it right, leave for my paratransit to come. And if you remember, I wrote a song about paratransit.
That's my favorite song.
Oh, thank you. I love that. I love that. I need to write more. I've been working on more songs.
Hmm.
Not working on them as, um, I've been working on a premature song.
Yeah.
And I say premature because I didn't know how I felt about her. It was the girlfriend I was mentioning.
Hmm.
And I've been working on a love song, and I should have, really explored my feelings before I thought about it because, but a love song doesn't have to be, I mean, we were talking this morning about a song. My uncle and I were talking about music and
Hmm.
talking about I don't know. It's funny. I mentioned a lot of things and nothing was taboo. We're talking about the meaning of everybody wants to know what the meaning of Hotel California is.
Yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
you could do a podcast where you research the mysticism and the history behind music's greatest masterpieces. Yeah.
exactly. And it's
Because
funny
there's a
enough you brought
lot
it
of
up.
mysticism and a lot of unknowns about a lot of these great songs. Typically, the really famous stuff, it's really famous because nobody fully understood what it meant, you know.
Exactly. And I don't think they do either. I think they wanted it to, I think they want us to interpret it, to be honest.
I think that some of the most incredible pieces of music have been music that have been written for us to secretly know the hidden meaning, you know. So that's
Exactly.
what truly makes it or breaks it, you know.
No,
Absolutely.
I do too, and I'm a firm believer in I'm an analyzer of music. I have to like listen to the story. I
Mm-hmm.
not just listen to the words, but I have to find the hidden meanings.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's
Right.
I think that's the artist in me.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of people listen to music, they love music. There's a lot of music lovers,
Mm-hmm.
but that don't pay attention. Like they love it, but they don't want to. Because I even heard because I asked my superintendent, like, what do you know? Like, because I'm just gonna give you an example. He likes the Beach Boys, and yeah, unfortunately, we lost Brian Wilson,
Yeah.
and and a lot of us grew up with them, no matter what generation you are. A lot of people know the Beach Boys, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a live stream at some point. Tribute to him and play some of his songs, but I know Facebook and Meta are very sticky about copyright
Yeah,
issues and
you couldn't be playing a song. You could do a clip where you mimic some of the style, and that was very influential at that time and is still influential today. Yeah, definitely.
but no, Brian Wilson I think is the last. Well, I'm not saying no, he's not the last one. There's still a few handful that are alive, but all his brothers are gone, have been gone, long gone, but no, I like for example, he likes the Beach Boys. I said, well, what do you know about this? And he's this, and he's like, oh, I don't know. I just like the music. I don't pay attention to
You know, some people are like that. We know somebody too. We have a friend who's like really deeply into the history of each musician of each single group. And we're like, just listen to the music. But some people will really, really get into it. And that's,
Well,
that's
I
really
do.
good for
And
them.
so does my sister. Like, she can tell you a lot about Kenny Loggins. Maybe not everything, but
Hmm. Yeah.
she's obsessed with him. And, like, I, she, like we're like the type of people that we need a full dossier on them.
Yeah.
We want to know. And, like I don't want people if I was made a big and if I ever made I wouldn't mind people when I'm like I said, I'm an open book. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a Wikipedia. I thought of writing my own Wikipedia page. I mean, anybody could write one or an IMDb.
Hmm.
I don't know if this podcast has an IMDb page. If it is, I'd love
I have
to
no idea if we do.
get
I
it.
mean, I would say that I doubt it, but then again, I've been surprised before about what people are secretly writing behind our backs. So you never know what information is out there,
Well,
right?
I could Google
Exactly.
myself. You'd be surprised if you Googled yourself.
Right, but I don't want to do that because that would mess up the algorithm because I want the public to Google me, and if I Google me, then that throws off that throws it off a little bit, you know.
I don't know, maybe I'm just I'm not self-absorbed. Maybe I'm just I love myself a little too much at times.
Well, we all do. We all do, you know. All right.
I
Well,
like
it's
to feel that I've made a difference in some people's lives.
right. Obviously you have, or else you wouldn't still be here. You wouldn't still be caring this much. And you wouldn't have answered the call when I said I have a vacancy and a guest wasn't able to make it into the show today. And.
Well, I wanted to
But,
make sure that I
hmm
had time to answer the call.
well, see, okay. So right there, that says a lot. That says everything about your character. You answered the call. You showed up. That says everything. That truly does.
Um,
That says everything about you, and that's really good. Yeah.
yes, and well, it is a good. You do a lot of good work and good podcast. I mean, you have a lot of thought provoking guests that it bothers. I don't know why it bothers me because there are other platforms that I could listen to your podcast, but it bothers me that Apple won't let me listen to explicit content for anymore. Like I can't listen to my pod. I have a lot of favorite podcasts I
hmm
used to listen to that I can't because they're explicit now, not just yours. I mean, if I had a podcast and it was marked explicit, I wonder if I could listen to my own podcast. And I'd have
Right.
to mark it explicit because I'm explicit.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. That would be, yeah, yours would definitely be explicit. I mean, I would say there's other platforms. You got like Spotify, which is a free one. I mean, you can listen to it. Aaron's opinion is on all the platforms. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I noticed. If I can ask you, I noticed
hmm
that you went back to Spreaker. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
have to talk about it here if it's. I noticed you changed outlets. I noticed you changed providers again.
Yeah, yeah, there were a lot of new analytical tools that I needed, and I found that Spreaker provides the best analytical solution.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, a lot of people are doing that, and I'd probably go to Anchor for me because it's the easiest tool.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes in the podcast landscape. That's for sure. That's
I
definitely
know.
that's definitely accurate. Yeah. Yeah. Well, before we get going today, I think we've covered a lot today. We really have. Let's see here. Um, So, I have another 10 minutes or so, and I think it would be really good if you want to regale us with some of your music, maybe one or two songs maybe one song that I love, and then your favorite song. I wanted to tell you too, you should do some covers of Bob Dylan, by the way. Because you kind of have that voice actually. You could kind of easily do a Bob Dylan. Yeah. But
Well,
anyway,
I wasn't prepared for anything but certainly I could sing one of my songs. I mean,
I mean,
if I wanted to display the new sounding guitar and my new strings,
sure.
but it's not open. I'll have to go back to my the couch and open, and see if I'm in tune. But I'm certainly not prepared to do anything that I haven't practiced. But
Well
I can.
then, well then, certainly you know how much I enjoy Paratransit. So that one's an easy one. That's kind of your spiritual song. You know?
Oh, it definitely is, and I
Yeah.
will be happy to do that. So for you and the listeners, and then I'll send Aaron an email with my socials, like my page, my Facebook, my music page, anything, my petition.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
not many people, a lot of people are wanting to sign it, a lot of people are not, and that's okay.
hmm
I've had fights with people who don't, one person who doesn't want to sign, but that's not because she didn't want to sign it, it's because she she kind of went into why, and I didn't really want to know, and it was just like, okay, you don't want to sign it, that's fine, but please don't,
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
just okay. I'll be back. I'll get my guitar. I should have got it before because I knew that I was gonna play something.
I
I
mean,
kind of had it.
you knew you weren't going to be able to make it out of here without paratransit. At very
Oh,
least, paratransit
I knew that.
requested.
That's what I knew the most. I wasn't gonna be able to make it out of here without
Yeah,
paratransit.
yeah,
And
definitely.
that's one of the highlights of my time of the podcast is hearing if you guys hearing me play my guitar.
All right, man. Well, let's go get that. That's fine then.
Oh, I
Absolutely.
hope you edit that. My phone just rang. I
Oh,
hope that'll
we
be
didn't even
edited.
hear it. We didn't even hear it through this beautiful audio. So that's totally fine. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll give you a minute here. Sure.
I'm sorry, audience. I hope that's edited. But, I hope that you guys don't hear it.
Hmm.
I was afraid my phone would ring during this interview. Okay, let me switch on tuning here. All right, I am in tune. I am just gonna.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so yes, this is my signature song. If you're just joining the podcast for the first time, and it's
You should get your music on Spotify. That just oh, you know what? I have a playlist that I've compiled where I've put all the blind musicians and one-sighted guy that I've interviewed over the years. I have a playlist. If you put your music on Spotify, I can put it on my playlist. Just saying.
okay. I plan on doing that. Yes,
Yeah, you should definitely do
I
that.
was thinking about that even before. I just want to know how I'd go about it, but I.
Oh, I'll put you in touch with someone who can help. If you join my WhatsApp communities, if you get more in touch with WhatsApp, I could certainly get you in touch.
Oh well, I have to. I just wanna. I plan. I will. I'm gonna get WhatsApp after I get a phone.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't have a phone, so
All right, all
I
right.
mean I
That's
have a landline, but that doesn't.
yep, yep. All right. Well, that's the most famous words of your creation, the most original. Oh, that door-to-door service, that one. Why don't we just dive into that? A beautiful way to end a beautiful conversation.
All right, here we go. This is my paratransit song. Well, the door service, well, I can't complain. Oh, but sometimes the drivers are really a pain. Well, when I'm waiting for them, well, they don't appear. But when I'm in the shower, they yell, hey, we're here. Paratransit, you're both good and bad. Oh, but just like the government, you make me mad. Paratransit, you're both good and bad. Oh, but just like the government, you make me mad. Well, the 3-day service is no good for me. Because sometimes I don't know where I'm gonna be. With the 1-day booking, at least then I'll know. I will know where I'm at and where I'm sure to go. Paratransit, you're both good and bad. Oh, but just like the government, you make me mad. Paratransit, You're both good and bad. Oh, but just like the government, you make me mad. Paratransit, you're both good and bad. Oh, but just like the government, you make me mad. Paratransit, you're both good and bad. Oh, but just like the government, you make me mad. Oh, but just like the government, you make me mad.
There you have it. And we hope
Thank
that, like I was saying before, man, we hope that moving forward, you're going to make some stronger, some different choices, some more positive choices so that you don't have to be mad all the time, just, just some of the time,
exactly.
you know? But Rob, man, thanks for joining us today, as always, man. And
You're
we will
welcome. And
definitely collect,
anytime,
we will
anytime
definitely.
you want, anytime, I'd love to come back.
All right. Well, I would certainly love to know how you end up doing with all of these various projects you're working on with the change.org and the petitions and things like that. So all of that
Okay.
is really, really good. And it's really good to hear that, you're going through some stuff, but you're also making consistent improvement too, where I see it.
Oh
And,
yeah.
that's also pretty good.
Well,
So,
therapy is helping a little.
well, that's great. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, everybody. Don't forget to sign Rob's petition. If you have any questions about that, let him know. We would love to hear from you about that. And
I will send you,
yeah,
should I let people know, where to find me or,
well, they can click the links in the description. It's a little
yes,
bit
I'll
more
just send them
compact to just
links.
send a yeah. Absolutely, absolutely.
I have Aaron's email. I'll just send him links. And if you guys want to hear from me or you have any questions for
Sure.
me, just let me know. I'm an open book. And, I hope there are, more questions and not any anger. But if you do have anger towards me too, I understand, I guess. But
Yeah, you also have to accept that it's also okay to be frustrated too.
yeah,
So whether it's you or someone at you, that's also okay. But yeah, man, really good job as always. We'll certainly click the link in the description and certainly let the Aaron's Opinion family know about this. And absolutely, really, really great having you on the show as always, Rob. All right. So
thank you for
you're
having
all
me.
forever
I
welcome
appreciate
here,
it.
man. Forever welcome. All right, everybody, take care. And until next time, help one person today, help 1 million people tomorrow.